Hello everybody, I'm Nerfer X and welcome to Not the Pigsty. I've been looking at all these videos online and I see all these people and they turn around and they go, oh, here's the thing, this is the scar I use, and they do a review on that, for example. But nobody's ever done, from what I've seen so far, a direct side-by-side comparison of all the different options that you might be able to get your hands on. Now, I will run through all of these because these are things that I use on a bunch of my blasters. Starting with what we have here is just the good old-fashioned Monkey Mods scar tip. Now, this thing here, and hopefully the camera will refocus on that, you can see there, has rifling grooves on the inside, or raised ridges on the inside. I believe this is like a half turn or a third or something like that. I know it's around there somewhere. It is actually quite a heavy turn compared to some of the others. Okay, but yeah, basically that is a Monkey Mods one, for example. And then you go from that, and then you end up with, say, something like the traditional worker rifling, as you can see there. It has those same ridges, but 4 of them, not 3. This one does work at a quarter turn. All right, and then I've got the Jet Blasters Zero. Now this Zero is also a quarter turn on the inside. If the camera will pick that up as well. It's kind of hard, I'm not that way. There we go. So yeah, that does have that raised ridges on the inside. That's 4 of them as well at a quarter turn. Going on from that, I've got the first of the Accuratios that I use. And this is designed by a fella in Caltech over in America. And this is not a bad little unit. I find these very, very nice. And so on. This here is one for 17/32, if you're wondering why I have 2 of them out, because one is for 17/32 and one is for 16mm aluminium tube. Same thing, but we'll see how the difference, how differently they perform according to how much crush there is on the dart as well, because they are exactly the same on the inside apparently. So we will give that a go and see how they compare to, of course, the 3 before it. Those. That is the Mark III in the Accuratios. This here is a Mark II, which was meant to, I believe he said it was a slow spin up. It starts at a 6 and ends at a 3rd. Okay, so again, the rifling on the inside of him. Alright, in comparison. Alright, then there's the Mark I Accuratio, which I've had a lot of joy with. This thing's just a monster of a rifling tip, though, compared to most. It is pretty big, but yeah, it does work very well as well. Like I said, each one goes towards a specific blaster that I may run. I will be putting all of these through more or less probably about 3 different blasters, just because of what's going to be easier to attach each one to and fire it off. But going from, say, all of these printed or molded ones, for example, okay, and they do work really well for what they are. Then you go to, say, something like the Blaster Tech here, which is from Penny and Dean at Blaster Tech over on the east coast of Australia, I believe they are. This is a stringed scar, and what this effectively does is when you give it a rotation, it actually engages the strings to tighten up, and then it creates a sort of rifling. And again, I don't know if the camera's seeing that too well, but it creates like a rifling pattern on the inside that the dart has to squeeze past. The Blaster Tech is a very nice unit, okay, as well. Now something for a printed unit, because that is a printed string scar. So moving away from that and then, say, going from what the norms are, where they're all, say, depending on where they come from, because I know the Zero ended up costing me, I think it was about $60. I know each of the Accuratios ended up costing me about 50 to 60 Australian dollars. So, you know, they kind of get a little bit expensive when you're buying in US dollars and stuff like that. Going from those, for example, because they're all the printed molded ones, to the stringed, new entry onto the market, which is the Blastify aluminium polished scar barrel. And this is actually a very nice one. You can see this is a 6-string here. Okay, this is a very, very nice unit. Brand new to the market. My friend Calvin makes these. They are excuse me, they are a very, very nice unit. They perform incredibly well as well. So that's that one there. And then going on from the 6 string, if that sits still, this is the one that's in prototype, and you may be able to see that there. That is actually an 8 string one that's not strung yet. I have to string this. And while I'm doing that, maybe I'll do him the favor of making him a video on that as well, because they're a little more complicated to string than, say, the Blaster Tech. But yeah, this should prove to be a pretty good unit. He had to re-hone it out so I could get a barrel onto it. You're probably wondering why these have barrels on them already, because they will just literally screw straight into my Zeus, and I'll be able to test them at full power on something that fires quite hard. What we're going to do essentially is I'm going to fire one dart from each of these and catch them at 1,000 frames per second as the dart flies away from the camera, and that should show you how stable the rotation is, and how quick the rifling actually applies that rotation and snaps it back into line. Probably the most accurate in terms of showing you exactly how they work, and then at least giving you a choice of what you could be looking at depending on where you are. This isn't going to be a biased review. You know, at the end of the day, like I said, they all work incredibly well for what they are, and what you're prepared to spend on them. It's just a matter of what would you like to put with what. I know with my Zeus, which is a very high quality build with a lot of man hours tipped into it, this is what I'd put onto it. With some other blasters like my long shots and so on, just with alpha kits in them and so on, I'd probably end up going this way, for example, because I just don't have that high requirement spec that I would get out of, say, the blaster fires. But to show these off as best as I possibly can, so you get the best possible idea of how the Monkey Mods compares to the Worker and so on. Okay, and then you can make your own mind up as to where you might want to be in terms of a purchase. Okay, so we've finished doing the shooting, and you know, you've watched all the slow-mo things. I'd be very interested to see in the comment section what you prefer or what you think would be the best for maybe your setup, you know, depending on what you're running. And just trying to put facts in front of people so you can turn around and say, that's the one for me, I really like that bespoke, you know, aluminium thing, I know I can't break it, it's not printed, or I don't want to spend as much as this, I'd rather go the Blaster Tech or one of the other options. But at least you'll know what you'll be getting when you attach it to your blaster in terms of its actual performance with a dart. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. You know, for the guys that have put this up on Ministry of Foam for me, thank you very much for doing the editing and the bits and pieces. I really do appreciate it. So guys, if you could smash their subscribe button and also smash the like button for this video, I would be greatly appreciative of it. And we'll start doing more videos like this and build videos and bits and pieces for everyone to have a look at. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video and you're having a great day. Speak to you later.